GamingBolt presents 15 things video games can do, but movies cannot.
Hi.
Don't shoot my face!
Movies are an incredible medium, allowing us to immerse ourselves while simultaneously being a spectator to events. Video games have long been mimicking the cinematography and direction that makes movies special, thus resulting in some very extraordinary experiences. But what are a few things that games can do that movies cannot? Let's take a look at 15 of them right now. Dialogue choices. Say what you will about Fallout 4's dialogue wheel. Actually, please don't, because it's kind of getting old. But video games offer the unique ability for dialogue choices. Even if it's something insignificant like the dialogue choices in Uncharted 4 or Titanfall 2, they add a whole new gravity to certain scenes, allowing them to play out slightly different the second time through. Dynamism. An entire genre called roguelike has been built on the trait of randomness and dynamic objectives. As such, many games, from Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain, with its enemy placements, to 20XX with its varying stage layouts, are dynamic and offer a different experience with repeated playthroughs. Even something as simple as changing your class in an RPG can result in a different experience, something that movies cannot do. Change the ending. Unlike movies, you don't have to be stuck with one fixed ending in a video game. Depending on your actions, various choices made, and a healthy amount of luck, it's possible to change circumstances and allow Geralt to live happily ever after with Yennefer and Ciri, and maybe save those kids in the swamp too. Length. Regardless of which movie you go to, you're always going to be aware of it ending soon. That isn't a knock on films themselves, but you won't have an experience that suddenly surprises you with an additional hour. Most movies don't even go past the 2-hour mark. Video games tend to be longer and keep you guessing with their plot twists. A game could be over very soon, and suddenly 15 hours in, you learn that Valmar lives and are sent spiraling down another journey. Side stories and side missions. While watching Twilight Eclipse, I was impressed by some of the supporting characters more than the leading pair. Unfortunately, if you don't like the main plot in a movie, you can't really diverge away from it. However, in a video game like Mass Effect 2, I can go on a revenge mission and know Garrus that much better. In The Witcher 3, I can liberate a maiden spirit from a tower and reunite her with her lover because video games offer that opportunity via side quests and side missions. Control the pacing. Sometimes a movie can go too fast and not afford enough time to take it all in. While video games have their own pacing, you're not always bound to the game's clock. Sometimes you can take your time and proceed along at a leisurely pace, enjoying the journey in the process. Explore, expand, and indulge in the world. Aside from a movie's limited running time, there's only so much it can tell you within that space. The film version of Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring won't shove the Battle of Helm's Deep into its narrative, for example, but it also won't let you learn more about it. However, even in a game with an obtuse narrative like Bloodborne or Dark Souls, it's possible to learn more about the world, the characters within it, the hidden significance of events taking place, secrets, and whatnot. Customized appearance. Whether you want to play as yourself, an attractive redhead, video games offer that option. Granted, not every video game has that kind of customization, and some are notorious for their stringent lack of character building. And while movies don't allow for customizing the protagonist's appearance, they have brought us some of the most iconic looks in history, like Indiana Jones' fedora or Heath Ledger's scarred Joker. View hundreds of elements simultaneously. Real-time strategy titles, tactical turn-based strategy games, and even RPGs all have a unique thing in common. They allow you to view the entire battlefield at once. As impressive as some movie war scenes can be, you're often being guided from one scene to another rather than viewing hundreds of different elements at once. Films are not terrible for doing this because they have a certain character and plots to focus on, but in terms of letting you pick and choose your focus, video games excel. Fixed versus malleable states. You've probably watched Deadpool and can attest to the movie's breaking the fourth wall, addressing the viewer and thus involving them further, or at least lending that impression. While video games can do the same, the difference still lays in their interactivity. A movie will still remain static even if it involves the audience, playing out before you in that fixed running time, while a video game is more malleable. Sometimes control is taken away from you, like with sanity effects in Eternal Darkness, and other times you have extraordinary control over everything, like Axiom Verge's glitches. Decide the fate of others. Don't like how someone died? Don't like that someone died. Video games are pretty lenient with letting you control the fate of other characters. Mass Effect 2's suicide mission allows you to kill your crewmates quite liberally. The Walking Dead is all about making potentially bad decisions that could compromise your crew, and don't even get us started on FTL faster than light. Kill everyone. Sometimes you just need to go on a murder spree and not have to deal with repercussions. Not all movies let you live out that fantasy, and those that do have to bother with, well, logic. Video games aren't bound by that. If I want to go and shoot up a city square, lead the cops on a cross-country chase, and finally fall in a hail of bullets before rising again, you can bet a game will deliver that experience more effectively than a movie. Also, Saints Row 4 gives you mechs and superpowers for the job, so yeah. Be your moral self. So you're not the killing and murderous sort, but you're not a good guy either. That's fine because plenty of video games allow you to be something in between. Adventure games these days like The Walking Dead, Tales from the Borderlands, and so on allow for different moral decisions, reflecting your own temperament and seeing how it affects the world around you, something which movies don't allow. On the other hand, there are plenty of movies where you can identify and relate to the events and decisions being made. Freedom of camera, mostly. Old school Resident Evil titles be damned. Despite how annoying the camera system in some games can be, you at least have the option to change your perspective. Granted, some games pick a perspective and stick to it, but others allow you to rotate around, zoom in, and zoom out. Even first-person shooters allow you to look around and take in the world, whereas movies only show you what the director or editor or producer wants you to see. Break everything. Even if a movie defies the logic of reality, a lot of that control is still out of our hands. How wonderful would it be to break things and involve people, animals, objects, etc. that don't belong in a particular video game? Whether it's mods, cheat codes, or total conversions, it's possible to completely change the game you're playing, explore new areas, equip new weapons, turn everyone into anime girls, battle a Macho Man Randy Savage dragon, you name it. And that'll be about it for this one. If you guys like what we're doing at GamingBolt, please consider subscribing to our channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.